So you want to edit a video, but you've never used Premiere Pro. Well, it can look intimidating, but we're going to teach you the fundamental ground floor 101 tools to edit a basic video, because once you've learned the basics, you can build up your knowledge until you are the most powerful editor in the history of editing. So let's start at the beginning. First, we need something to edit. So we'll right-click and import our first video, or drag and drop into the project panel, or come over to my import tab and do it all here. Either way, once you have your video in Premiere, we're gonna double-click to open it up in our source monitor. Here, we can scrub the video, find what we need, then click here, or hit I on your keyboard to set your endpoint. Then find where you want your clip to end, click here, or hit O on your key to set your out point. Now we click the image and drag it to this icon here, and Premiere will make a sequence based on the settings of this clip. And as simple as that, we can now go through our clips, selecting the sections that we want, and with our sequence made, we can just drag each right into our timeline. You can also go to your project panel and shift the view from list to icon to get a thumbnail view of your assets. And if you want them larger, you can adjust that right here. But now you can scrub through your clips by hovering over the thumbnail, then hit I and O to select a section and drag it right to your timeline, which is downright neato.
Adobe Premiere, downright neato since 1991.
When you need to cut up your clips while they're in the timeline, you can grab the razor tool in the toolbar, or you can press C on your keyboard. Now you can go to your clip and make your cuts. But if you want to speed this up, you can add a shortcut by going up here to Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts, and search for Add Edit. Next to this, you'll see the hotkeys for that function. You can either use the ones that they have here, or shift to something that you would rather use, like the X key. Now, instead of needing to use the razor tool, I can place my playhead over my clip and hit X, and Premiere makes that cut for me. Then after the footage is spliced, you can drag these handles to shorten or lengthen your clips. When editing anything that has audio, especially dialogue scenes, J and L cuts are your friend. This is the act of introducing the audio from another shot a second or two before cutting away. And they're called J and L cuts because of the shape that they make on your timeline. The easiest way to do this is by dragging the video or audio of a clip, but of course they are linked and move together when dragged. You can right-click and unlink them, which is useful in some scenarios. But here, all you need to do is hold Alt on Windows or Option on Mac. Then you can individually drag out your audio or video layers without affecting the other. Now that you have your video cut together, it's important to make sure that your sound is consistent. This means going through your timeline and blending your sound to make it feel like it is a singular piece of audio. You can smooth out cuts between your audio by dragging on a transition and adjusting the length as needed. For me, this is 90% of how I use audio transitions. Very short, just to blend the cut point. So you can come into your preferences, timeline, and adjust the transition length here to your liking. Now I can select the track that I want to add my transition to and use a hotkey to apply. For me, it's Control-T or Command-T on a Mac. This will apply to everything selected, so if I just want the audio, I click Control-Shift-T or Command-Shift-T on a Mac. This also means that I can finish my cut, then select all the audio that I want to apply the transition to, and hit my hotkey for just the audio transition, and there you go. Of course, you can twirl your audio open and set keyframes right on your clips by holding Control or Command on a Mac. Click and adjust as needed. Then take it a step further by right-clicking the keyframe to add an ease in or ease out to smooth your transition. If you need a title, credit, or lower third, you can add text by grabbing the text tool or just press T on your keyboard, drag out a box in your program monitor, and open the Essential Graphics panel. Here you'll be able to make all the adjustments that you want, like adding a stroke, shadow, or aligning to have your text box centered. We go into a lot more detail in another episode that's dedicated to text in Premiere, so if you want to know more about that, check below. A color grade is going to wrap up our first edit, so we're going to go over to Window, click on Lumetri Color, and now you have this workspace to do all of your color work. It can be as simple as fine-tuning the basic correction, or you can dive in and play around with the curves or HSL settings, and of course, LUTs. We have another episode all about LUTs as well, so check the description below for that. Now that you're ready to export, you can go to File, Media, and hit Export, or you can hold Control for Windows or Command for Mac and hit M to have your encoding window pop up. You can change your format here in case you're looking to export a QuickTime or even an MP3 file. We're going to go with H.264 since we're exporting for online, and H.264 offers solid resolution while keeping the file size small. Once you have that selected, you can look for a preset that best fits your needs and adjust by setting accordingly. Usually, I'm setting my target bitrate for around 20 to 25 when exporting for our Film Riot episodes. Once you have that, of course, name your file, then hit export in the bottom right corner. And those are the ground floor basics to get you through your first edit. Of course, there's plenty more to dig into, but that should get you started. And again, check out the notes below for more links to dig further into what Premiere has to offer. And if there's something that you'd like to see us cover in a future episode, you can leave a question in the comments below. And subscribe to the channel for more tutorials and updates like this one, because if you don't, I will find you and ask politely.